Hi, crafters. Sorry, and welcome to Technique of the Week. So, I usually don't like showing things too far ahead of when they're released, but I feel I need to show you this reverse hot foil die now before it comes out on September 1st, because I don't think, I'm sure Stampin' Up! Has plenty of them, but this is one thing I think people have been waiting for, and I think it might go out of stock pretty quickly. All right, I am going to show you how to, I'm plugging in my hot foil plate over here. I'm not going to use the reverse hot foil die first because you want to actually, foil something first and then use the negative. Oh, I have stuff all over my table. Sorry about that. All right, so here's a couple other items that are coming out in the September hot foil release. There was a lot, but these are the only two I got. So there's Lustrous Leaves. It comes with one foiling die and then all of these cutout dies. It also comes with coloring masks, decorative masks. And then you have Magical Christmas hot foil dies, which is one hot foil die and then a cutting die that cuts all of the images out. For today, I am going to focus on this Lustrous Leaves because it is just, you know me, I am a fall girl. Love fall. Fall is, I like snow, but fall is like my go-to season. It's my color scheme. It's everything. Excuse me. It's been really wild weather in the Chicagoland area. We started last week with tornadoes, and then we had 5 straight days of rain, and it got a little colder. And then if you're inside with air conditioning, yeah, my throat's just a little tight. So pardon me if I have to clear my throat a few times. Okay, so let's show you this. We're not going to work with the masks today. We're just going to work with the foiling because we're talking about this reverse hot foil die. Now, I know there was another video that I did that showed you how I used existing dies, hot foil dies you might have to use or work around until this came out. But this is a game changer. Just wanted you to know. So here is the hot foil die. Remember, it is a little more of that matte finish. It's not as shiny. And then here are your cutting dies. Now I've just put strips of this is that magnetic vent covers. I just put them there to help keep control all 15 of these little dies because otherwise they'll go all over the place. But this is the die that matches up to this exactly. So you can see, let me get it the right way. You can see how it's going to cut it out exactly. All right. And I want to remind you, and as I show you the hot foiling, remember any little areas of your cardstock that's left with the foiling, cut them out when you can. So use up all of that good foil look because why waste it? So we'll show you that too in a little bit. All right, so as we're waiting for this to heat up, let me go ahead and all of my funness over here. Let me grab out a piece of two-tone cardstock. Remember, the smoother the cardstock, the better you're going to get foil transfer. So I'm going to use this two-tone Cajun Craze. One of my favorite fall colors, especially since Really Rust is no longer around. Now, I think I'm going to cut it out. Let's see. I think 4 inches will work. Let me see if I cut it at 4, will I be able to get the die on there? I'm going to go 4 1/4, just because I want to make sure that that die gets on there. All right, so then you see that's going to look really good there. I want my two-tone cardstock to be approximately the same size as the die. That way we reduce the chance of overfoiling. Now that's going to cut through there, so I'm going to go 4.5 this way. Yep, that'll look good. I'm going to cut out a couple. All right, making a nice little pile over there. So these will be what I use with my foil dies. So let's also talk about what else is coming out in that release. And this is why I cut two, because I want to show both of them to you. Lots of new foils. There's red, there's green, but the two I got were copper and silver foil. Not silver foil. Oh my gosh, what's it called? Let me look at the box. Oh, my box was destroyed. Silver opal, I think it's called. Silver opal. So it's just that iridescent look. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. So remember, the first time you're heating this up, it takes about 6 minutes. So it's going to be just a little while. While we're doing that, I'm going to trim down a piece of foil to be about the same size as my cardstock. So let me go ahead, grab out my little, take your pick tool, and I'm just using a little perforation edge to cut that strip. You can see right there where I did run that across, that foil is now gone. So you got to be careful when you're cutting. I just don't like cutting with scissors because I feel like with the scissors, I crinkle it up way too much. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to also do one. Let me grab out my silver opal. I'll find out what the real name is. Like I said, my boxes, when they came from the post office, were completely mangled. And there were dents in my foil, but it wasn't bad enough that I don't think it's going to not foil well. Let's go like this. All right, and I keep those strips, and I'll show you why I keep those strips in a little bit. All right. All right, this should be almost ready here. We're going to start with the foil, the copper, and I think I'm going to do it on the lighter side versus the darker side, because I think the darker side's too matchy-matchy. So I am going to do it on this lighter side here. Now, I may foil differently than what Stampin' Up! How they taught us, but it's all hit and miss, just so you know. And I'm going to put this down now, even though we haven't got to the overall heating phase. This is the warm-up stage, getting all that contact surface to the same temperature. So we're going to just put that on there, just because it is a thicker die. Hot foil die. And we'll get this ready here. You will notice after I run this through the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, though, I am going to put the reverse hot foil die on right away. Just because that is a lot of area then that we're working with. Okay, we're at the 9-minute mark, so I don't know when I turn this on, but it should be ready almost any second now. That is the only bad thing about the first time you heat it up, is it does take a while. But then once you have it heated up, every subsequent after that goes a lot faster. So here are all those little, this is the pieces I had left from foiling when I foiled full panels. So I had all of these little edges. So I went ahead and took those dies. Because remember, you have all these little dies that come with it to cut out. And I just put them all along the edges So now I have all of these foiled leaves that are ready to be added to a card. And as you can see, I did it on yellow cardstock. So you could also do the non-foiled side if you wanted to, but why would you? If you have the foil, you might as well use it. All right, you can see now my white light is blinking, so that means that it's come up to an even temperature and it's ready to add your dye, your hot foil dye, and your layers. Now, I don't put all my layers on at the beginning, just because I think that's where you get a lot of over foiling. So what I'll do is, because I know this is going to take 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to get everything ready, and in a little bit I'll put that on. But at the same time now, I'm going to get out my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, because we are going to need to use that. So I'll have that ready too. Okay, so we are going to foil that. Then we're going to get the reverse hot foil dye on so that we can then go ahead and get this all heated up to show you that reverse. And it all makes sense here in just a little bit. Let's see what else can, oh, I can show you here. Let me show you. This is what we're coming up to. Can you see all of those dies that I've cut out? And remember how I told you to save these little strips you have left if you cut it down? Because this is what I did. Let me take these out. All my little workings here. Oh, it beeps. So now we're ready to go. But see how you can take those foil pieces and just do a border on your cards. All right, that beeped, so it means it's ready for me to add my foil. I just dropped a bunch of foil things on the ground. So it's ready for me to add my foil. Remember, pretty side down. So you want to cover up that die completely. Your cardstock, I'm going to go on the light side. So that's going down. And then my 2 plates, my green plate and then my white plate. We're going to unplug this. We're going to bring it over and run it through. Now, some people run it through fast. Some people run it through slower. I haven't found any difference one way or another. So I'm going to bring this back over here. I'm going to grab that off. I'm going to plug this back in. I'm going to take off, oh, I didn't bring out my, I'm going to take this off and put it on my cooling rack over here. Remember, you have this. So I'm going to let that cool over there. And I'm going to put the reverse hot foiled plate down. Now, on your plate, I'm making a terrible mess all over the place. On your plate, on one side, it does say Stampin' Up. It's engraved in there. You want that plate touching your hot surface. You want everything to be smooth here. So I'm going to leave this on for that long heat up period. All right, so this is cooled off. And look how gorgeous. Just a little bit of overfoiling there. If you're going to use this as a full panel, you would just go ahead and take it off with your rubber adhesive. But I'm going to cut this out. So we'll put this off to the side. We'll cut this out while we're waiting. Now, we have this piece. And we're going to, oh, let me get a different, Again, another piece of, we'll use our, I think this is Daffodil Delight. Oh my gosh, I have so many things piled up over here. I don't have a side desk, and I really should. I should have a side table here. I just have all of my paper, my like my bags that hold paper. So remember, we went at least 4 1/2 and 4 1/4. So there's 4 1/4 by that 4 1/2. Okay, let's put that down because this is what we're going to use on our hot foil for the reverse. So that plate is getting heated up. Now it's not going to take the 6 minutes to heat it up this time. And see, it does go a little bit over my edge. See how it's curling? I'm okay with that. I'm just okay with that. Okay. I'm trying to think ahead. So we're going to cut this out, but I'm going to wait till that's heated up so we can start the process. Let me put that over here. So now it beeped, which means it's ready to start the 2-minute countdown. Again, I'm not going to put this on during this 2-minute extra heat. I'll put it that way. It's when, so the first one, you're bringing it up to temperature. This one now, you're actually doing what is the foiling or melding method. But I don't put the foil on there because I do think this is where you can, again, get a lot of overfoiling. So I'm going to get this set up because this is going to go down on the pretty side will hit the metal. I'm sorry, not the metal, the surface. So it's going to be pretty side down, and then it's going to be my cardstock on top. So I'm getting ready to have it go that way. So again, this is just going to take just a little while. Then we're going to cut this out while that is curing, and we'll show you how everything has worked. You know what, maybe I will do the cutting right now, because we have probably another minute before that beeps. So to cut it out, you're going to take out your platform, your thin die adapter plate 2, and one of your 3s. We're going to lay this down and we're going to line it up. Oh, see, now it's ready. It's all right. I'm going to leave it on there. We're going to line this up. I'm really looking at those stems because you want the stems to come through. So I see stems. I see everything there. I am going to put just a little bit of tape on there to hold it all in place. Oh, I hope that didn't move. All right. Let me bring those out over here. So there you have all of those wonderful, you see that shine? All that foiling. So those are all ready to go. All right, now that this is beeped, I'm going to put down my foil, again, pretty side down on the hot plate, the hot foil plate. Putting this down so it covers everything. Now I am going to, let me put these out of the way. Now I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to put on my green plate and my spacer plate. Now this is the only time that I feel like the underside of my platform is warm. And that's because you have that reverse foil on there that is going to heat up all that surface. All right, let's bring this back over here. Let's take our plates off. All right, And I'm going to show you something. I won't do it right now, but so here, you see how this is hanging over? If your foil was cut down a lot smaller, and we'll show you here, let's plug this back in. Oh, where did my cord go? I'll show you what I mean. Let me plug that back in, get it heated back up again. So we're going to peel this off. And look. See, there's just a little bit left on that coating, on that film. We don't have enough there to do the cuts, so we're just going to leave it that way. But look at that. And now again, you can take this. You want to be careful and not move this around too much because you don't want to scratch that foil. I mean, it's on there, but if you really scratch at it, it will come off. Again, I'm trying to line up some of those stems and the outlines. It's kind of hard to do when you're standing up and you're trying to hold it in midair. I think that looks good. Let's bring out my plate 1, plate 2, and my 2-3 plates. You also have to be careful because sometimes the tape does not stick well on the foiled area. Just so you know. All right. And look at those. Okay, that just beeped, which means my foil machine is ready to go. This is where you can cut out those extra leaves. Take those little dies and cut out those leaf petals. Here, can you see? Here, I'll just pull one up. I mean, look at that. Look at that shine. All right. I'm going to show you the foil. Get this. This is ready to go now. I'm going to press this. What we're going to do here is I'm just going to take a piece of cardstock for these strips. Let me just grab. Sorry. Let's just grab one of these little pieces. And I'll show you on this. And we'll cut this down so that it's smaller than the cardstock itself. See, and this is why I don't like using scissors. You see that? It doesn't, sometimes gives. All right. So if your foil is smaller than your cardstock, because I really freaked out when I was doing some of my, and I know we're not ready yet, but I'm going to put this down since we're not doing it with the foil, we're just doing it straight on to just a piece of cardstock. Now, I wouldn't recommend you do this unless you want some shiny little accents that you're going to cut out, like I'm going to do with the leaves. But for the most part, you'll want to use the, all right, that beeped, the extra leftover. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Right. Bring this over here. All right, so now we have this piece of cardstock that has the foil on it. What I want you to remember is, if you go to die cut this out, you want to remember there is a thin plastic film over that. Is it not going to let me grab it? Because as you start to cut out, it will come off. Let me see if I can get it with this. There we go. I just don't want to cut or scratch the foil too much. I already am. But can you see? Sorry. It's always on live that you can't get it. All right, here we go. See, you want to take that film off. Otherwise, when you go to die cut, it's going to come up at that point, and if you have grooves in it like those leaves do, it's not going to come off. So if your foil is bigger than your cardstock, you have that edge to pull. But if you have a small piece you're doing like this, just remember that film is there. And if you go to die cut, that film will come off in pieces, and it may not give you the deep grooves like if in these. You may not have those deep grooves then, because this will have absorbed some of it. Okay, my gosh, this has been a long video, but I wanted to show it to you because I know I had done my technique using, I think it was the dots. Let me see. I think it was, yeah, I had shown you how to use this as that foil plate, that reverse foil plate. But since there's a pattern on this, you are going to not get a very smooth surface to foil against. This is all metal, that foil material. So that's why you get such a good continuity on it. And I'm sorry, I didn't really show this in the leaves. I will show that, where is it? I'll show you how that looks though. I did that with that Christmas die. Can you see? That is the image. And let me see if I have, I didn't do the reverse. Oh yeah, I did. I don't have the reverse on the silver, only because I didn't know about that film. And so when I went to cut it, it slid a little and everything cut wrong. But here you have that reverse look. So here's silver on red, and here's the reverse image where you run it through and that red shows up underneath. But that's what that pearl, that opal silver, pearl silver, that's how it looks. You see, it's just that holographic look, and it's really quite fabulous. Here's where I put two pieces of leftover foil together, and you got that two-tone look. So, sorry this is such a long video, but it is a fabulous new item coming September 1st in our new foil release. That reverse, I don't even know where, there it is, the reverse hot foil die. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Go ahead and give me that thumbs up if you don't mind. Don't forget to subscribe. Most of all, have a great week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.